Give her a place command again. So just wander towards your bed. That way you can point to it from a safe distance. Perfect. Just say nope, then place. Perfect. Yeah, there you go.
Good girl.
Then tell her down.
Down.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. Like, because that's okay. You said that's bed's a little small for her too. You said place, and she kind of did what she did before, where she started to sniff around, and then you said no, and you kind of went right into reach for a leash and grab it, which is good. But just like take it. You can kind of take it a little slower, right? It's like you can say nope, and if she still doesn't respond, then reach in calmly, grab her leash, and give the correction. Okay. You kind of want to do that stuff calmly. That way, she's not acting frantic about it too. I see that a lot, like with kind of a bit of an example would be the out command. Like when you say out, it's like as you say out, you're already anticipating she's not going to respond, so you reach for the leash to correct. So just like either already have the leash in your hand, say out, and if she doesn't respond, pop the leash, or have the e-collar say out. If she doesn't respond, then tap the e-collar. And it's just, you're kind of breaking it down very clearly for the dog, so they can kind of
like a warning.
Yeah. Rosie, no, down. Good girl. What's she staring at? Something? Oh, that's okay. Not too concerned with it. If she were to get off the bed and go towards something, we just say no and give that correction, right? And then call her back over to the bed, tell her to go to her place bed. Let's say she did that. Typically what I would do with it, let's say she decided to run off towards something over there. As soon as she gets off the bed, I would say, Rosie, N-O. I would give my e-collar correction in this situation. I would basically, as soon as she gets off the bed, say, Rosie, nope, and I would correct. I would already probably have this turned up a bit too. I'm kind of quick with it, so I would right away see she's getting off the bed kind of quickly. I would just bump this right up to a 40 or something, kind of aversive for her, and I would tap the button. It would immediately cause her to be like, oh crap, what was that, right? And so once I stopped that forward motion with that correction, then I would repeat the command, place, right?
Yeah.
Even before that, with her getting off the bed, I might even recall her and then say place instead of saying no and then say place right away. It might be nope, then call her back over to me, then put her on the place bed, just to kind of break everything down successfully. Really though, her impulse control and stuff with this is really good. And that's where doing this stuff with your ball is a good way to practice it. If you just pulled your ball out and tossed it down the driveway right now and she got up to rush towards it, you'd do the exact same thing. You'd say no, give your correction, call her back. And it's a good way to practice that stuff. Not that you need to be teasing her with the ball and doing that all the time, but, just to kind of test that stuff is really, really nice, right? So right now, just go ahead and give her why don't you just say okay and throw the ball? Just say, get her attention, say, Rosie.
Rosie.
And say, nope.
Nope. Oh,
now bring her back to the bed. That's okay. Say place.
Place.
Good. Yeah, that's good. That was good. Say down Rosie again down. If you want. Good. Good. Now say Rosie.
Good girl. Rosie.
Now say okay and throw it.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Good girl.
Good girl. Rosie. Out.
Say nope.
Nope. Out.
Okay, so that's where, in that situation, that's where you're either going to... So go grab your leash and collar. Actually, that's a much better way to deal with this right now. And just move her off of that. We were a little slow there. If you want, go grab that toy again or let her get it. Just say okay and let her get the toy.
Okay.
Cool. Now move her away from the bed. Bring her towards you. Now say your OUT command. That's okay. Let her get it. Let her get it again.
Okay.
Good.
Rosie, out.
Good girl.
Good girl.
Now go over to pick it up. Now, if at this time when you wander over to pick it up, she decides that, those things right there, right? If she decides when you're going to pick it up after you say out, she's going to rush towards it first, or if you're holding it in your hand and she tries to steal it from you, that's where we get into really, in my opinion, the importance of these games is because you're going to set some rules now too, right? Once I say out, you got to let go of it. You can't try to steal it again until I say okay. That's you being the ref in this situation. You're playing a game and you're setting the rules, and it's really going to do a lot to increase her engagement and just her respect of your authority with this stuff, right? Because it's okay, when I'm excited and we're playing, I still have to follow these rules, right? And you're still holding her accountable for them. So again, pull your toy out and say okay and throw it, or just say okay first.
Sorry, just before I do that, in those cases,
yeah.
What exactly?
Say no and correct. Yeah, say no, pop her leash, let her know, hey, you're not supposed to do that. And then as soon as she's stopped trying to go for the ball or whatever, say, okay, now go get it, right? Let her know that now you can play, right? Just let her know, hey, that's off limits, and now we can play again because I've corrected it, right? So we'll have a couple of those moments come up here again. So go ahead and say okay and just throw it.
Okay.
And just kind of get in the game with her. Call her over to you, get excited. Good girl. Praise her.
Girl.
Nice.
Girl.
don't reach in to pet her and stuff like that when she's got the ball. It's not that there's an issue or anything with it. It's just you can kind of see she wants to pull her head back a little bit, right? It's just because she thinks you're going to try to steal the ball from her or whatever, right? So use your commands for that. I will oftentimes reach in and grab the leash. Like, let's say I'm playing with her and like she grabs the ball. I will reach like right here. And then I'll have the leash over here, so I'm not reaching like right into here where her neck is or whatever. It just kind of takes away some of that conflict, because then I have the leash here, and then I can say out and give a little correction if I need to. And it's just, you're not reaching in to grab it or whatever. Again, that's where the e-collar can be nice too. So go ahead and give her a command or two. Just give her the place command. Wander over to the bed. Give her the place command.
Please.
Good girl.
Good girl. Down.
Perfect. Go ahead and recall her. Just wander down to the end of the driveway and recall her to you. And then once she gets to you, have her sit and then say, okay, and throw the ball, okay?
Rosie, come. Good girl.
Now say, okay.
Okay.
Good. Good girl. Now praise her, get excited.
Good girl, Rosie. Good girl. Good girl.
You have kind of that instinct to move towards her. Like, you don't really trust that she's going to bring it back to you. So I tell people, like, the opposite of that is what you want to do. Like, instead of moving towards them, move away. Like, yeah, good girl, good girl. You're going to see she wants to come towards you. That's your opportunity to grab your leash or give your out command, right? And so you'll just kind of learn how to get her into the play like that with you, right? But you have to just stay engaged with her and let her know, like, you're not going to try to take it, but she can bring it to you and then you'll throw it again, right? And you get into a bit of a flow with that, right? So say okay and throw it again.
Rosie, okay.
Good. Just do a couple throws with her here. Praise her again. Back away, back away, back away. Good. Just call her.
Rosie.
Good girl. Good. Perfect. Now okay again. Make sure you say okay before you throw it. That's okay though. Good girl, good girl.
Good girl, out. Good girl, okay.
Good. Call her back to you
Rosie.
again. There you go. That's the. Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, say okay or out. I mean, sorry.
Drop it.
That's good. Pick it up. Put it in your pocket. Good girl. So ask her to sit.
Sit.
Good.
Girl.
Walk over to your place command, but don't give it to her. Just walk over there. Say nope.
Nope.
Tell her sit.
Sit.
Good. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. Good girl. Now say place.
Girl, place.
And then right away say okay.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That is perfect. Yeah, you kind of want to say okay first. Like, it's like, okay, and then reach in and pick it up and throw it. So, like, that last one was perfect, actually. Some of the reps you were kind of reaching in, pulling out, and then saying okay.
Yeah.
And you want to say okay first. That signals, like, now we're going to start the game again, and the toy is going to come out into play, right?
Yeah.
She was actually really good with you there. She was, like, right in the flow of it. She was dropping it as soon as she came to you. And there was no situation where she tried to steal it from you, because she kind of started to understand that, I think. But you'll kind of, like, you'll find that will come up when you're playing with her. Like, if you notice she tries to cheat, like, you reach down and pick it up and she goes in to steal it, you kind of have to set a very firm boundary in that moment, right? Like, not like over, like, you don't have to like get over dramatic with her or anything, but I'll kind of like, I'll stop and I'll act like kind of like upset with the dog, like no, right? And then the dog will back up and be like, oh crap, I really messed up. And that's when you say, good, okay, and you throw it again. You just switch right back into that we're gonna play again personality. But it lets the dog know that, like, when they make a mistake, it's a big deal, right? Like, you do not want to make a mistake. Rosie. Good girl. Yeah. Wow. Nice work. When it comes to our
one person that didn't call her.
when it comes to our recall, we do enforce it with the e-collar, but we also use what we call the tone function. So I'll say, Rosie, come. Good. And hear that beep on her collar? Yeah. It's just an audible sound. Nope. Rosie, come. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Rosie, break. Good girl. It's just an audible sound that she can hear right beside her ear, so it's really hard to ignore. Like, if she's off in a distance sniffing something, and I say, like, Rosie, come, and I hit the beep, she might ignore my come, but she's going to have a hard time ignoring the beep. And the beep is always consistently sounds the same, and it's always paired, if it's ignored, with a correction, right? So if she hears that beep and she ignores it, she knows 100% of the time it's going to be a correction that follows that, right? Whereas, like, with your come command, you might say come and not have the e-collar on you. You might say come and sound different. Like, if you say come and you say come, or if she's actually, like, if you're in a panic or calm, you might say come very differently. The tone is always the same, so the dogs are always conditioned to the same response. It's just important they know which handler to go to when they hear it, because if you're just standing there, both of you, and one of you hits the beep, she might not know who to go to. So that's where it's like when I recall, it's like, Rosie, come. Yeah, good girl, good girl, good girl. Sit. I'm immediately praising the dog the whole way in, right? Rosie, break. And then we get excited, and then we can release with our break command or our okay command, whatever we want to use, whatever our reinforcement is, right? But it's kind of important to get her practicing these commands so she's super fluent with it and understands how to practice the impulse control within these commands too. That's why the play and stuff is so important. It's a relationship exercise, impulse control exercise. It's all of that stuff, right? And so it's my favorite way to reward. But you can use food and stuff too. It's whatever preference for the dog and for the owner at the time. Oh my goodness, what did you find? Nice work.
So sorry if I missed this. I'm sure that you said it, but when you're doing recall and she has the collar on, every time you say come, you'll use the...
I will, yeah. I typically will just hit the beep as like a reflex almost. It's not a big deal if you don't. Like, she should respond to both the verbal and the beep and both together, right? So it's like, if you don't hit the beep, it's not the end of the world. Just understand though, it's like, if I say come and you don't come, then follows the correction after that, right? Again, we condition the beep in there because we notice a bit more of like an urgent response. When they hear that beep, it's like, oh crap, I gotta go, right? And then versus the recall command, which has a history with some owners of, again, not being reinforced or whatever the case is, right? So the beep is just a little bit more solid, we find. But yeah, so typically just try to hit it every time if you can. Good stuff. And I should say though, we'll only use the beep on the recall, right? So I'm not hitting the beep as like a warning for like any other command. Like if I say place and the dog doesn't go to the bed, I'm not gonna hit the beep. I'm gonna hit the correction instead, right? Then the dogs don't get used to that as a warning or anything like that. Very good work.